What's going on, guys? DB Cards here. Today I'm going to show you my next PSA submission. I'm going to split it into two parts. One will be the express submission, which is just cards that I want to get back quicker, either to sell or because they don't meet the standard submission monetary value, you know what I mean. And then the other one, the standard, which are mostly cards from my collection, or ones that just don't make sense to pay $30 a card to get graded. So stay tuned. All right, guys, we're gonna start with the expression submission. So off the bat here, first edition Charmander, doesn't really need an introduction. A little bit of whitening. Expecting an 8. Usually I don't send these if they don't have a chance at a 9. I think this one does have a chance at a 9. There might just be a little bit too much whitening. Next up, first edition Squirtle. Again, another card doesn't really need an introduction. This one here, if you can see, maybe I'll compare it with this next card here. So the stamp on that one, it's hard to see on camera. Maybe if I can get them in the same light. So it's actually a gray stamp. Squirtle. So not 100% sure. This is really my first gray stamp that I'll be grading, so not 100% sure how much more of a premium that is, but generally it's just something to throw onto your eBay listing and something people look for. This one is really clean. You'll see some whitening along this edge, and then couple little ones at the top, and then a little bit on this edge. So I think with that edge wear, unfortunately this one's probably relegated to an 8 max. Reason I'm sending it in is that gray stamp really more than anything. Next up, saw earlier that Pikachu. This one was one I picked up on eBay for I think $300. I think this is a 9 all day long. Very slight edge wear here, and then nick here, and then on this corner down here, so very minor. I'm leaning towards thinking this is a 9. The centering is just a touch off as well, so if it gets an 8, I'm still happy about that. It's first edition Pikachu, so it is yellow cheeks, so a little less desirable, but still a great pickup, I thought. Next up, you'll see a growing trend here. So this is a base set 2 Blastoise. This one is in pretty good condition. You'll see it's off center on the back. The front centering looks pretty good, maybe looks a little bit shifted, like the card kind of angles upward a little bit in this spot. And then I don't know if camera seems to be able to pick that up. There's some silvering on the top. Generally, I'm not sure. I've heard that PSA isn't too harsh on that, but this will be pretty much my first PSA submission, so we'll see. With the centering issues on this, I'm leaning towards thinking it's an 8. The hollow is really clean, and there's no real noticeable marks on there, but I'm just sitting here admiring the Cosmos foil of the base set 2. Really is my favorite foil, I think. Again, another base set 2 Blastoise here. Similar in that it's just a touch off center. This one doesn't have the issue of the slanting. You'll see on these vintage WotC cards, sometimes they have this weird rounded corner. Seems like PSA doesn't really take off for that, which is good because you can't really control that. On the back here, see a little bit of whitening up at the top. This is covering one little whitening speckle there. Another one here and here. I think this is 8 all day. Not if I drop it. Looks like, I'm not sure if that's on the card there. Let's see. Looks like there's a scratch. Yeah, it is on the card. So with that scratch, maybe a 7. Either way, getting a Blastoise, base 2 slabbed. Can never go wrong there. I'll start picking it up here because we got another Blastoise here. Similar condition. This one actually might be even better condition. Only issue is it's a little off center. Some tiny nicks right here, and then some in the bottom right corner as well. yeah, looks pretty good though overall. Next up, another base 2 Blastoise. We got some silvering on the top there, some scratching on the hollow. I think this is the one that's in the roughest shape, but even if these come back, you know, 7s, happy with that. Next up, we have a base set Blastoise. This one, decent condition. We see down here, the centering looks way off. On the front is where it's more important, and the centering is off. It's shifted left, right, but still pretty good looking card. Next up, you'll see I submitted these kind of out of order. Yeah, you see the big boy right there. So I want these 3 sequentially numbered to potentially sell them, or even if I'm keeping them in my collection, having them sequentially numbered is pretty cool. So there's the Venusaur there, looks pretty good. I'm leaning towards 8s on all of these. This one might be a 7 just because of some whitening issues. And this Charizard, so this was in a lot that I picked up that had, I think it was about 24 hollows, WotC hollows, all of them in pretty near mint condition for 700. This card alone, I think it's a 7. Only real issue I can see is, and it's not even really picked up on the camera here, but there's some tiny silvering on the bottom here, and then there's a factory line. Don't think you can pick it up, but there's a factory line in the hollow. But that's the big hitter. Well, one of. Next up, got another Venusaur base set. This one's in a little rougher shape on the bottom there. Another Venusaur base set. This one looks really clean. I paired my best 3 together of those big 3. So next up, we got another Charizard base set 2. This one, there is just some tiny white specks on it, but these are all just really clean cards. There are quite a few factory lines I see, so even in a 7, I'd be stoked for that one. All right, prepare, because we have a Shadowless Charizard. This one's in real rough shape. I'm hoping for maybe a 3. We have some definite damage on the bottom here and in this corner, but the hollow overall looks really good, which is the main reason that I wanted to add it to my collection. Back obviously has some wear. You can tell this card was definitely played with, but no real big creases. There is a minor crease here, which the light picks up, but sometimes, you know, at PSA 1, you'd see, like, I feel like a lot more damage than this, so I think this is at least a 2. Next up, we have a Shadowless Pikachu. This one, actually bought this CD here in the background that I use as a decoration just because I love all the art in that. And this came with it. I got it for 85 bucks. So that CD itself is probably about 20 bucks if you look on eBay. I wanted it in my collection, and just so happened that I saw this listing with a Pikachu, brand new in sealing, or in the seal, coming with that. So hoping for a 10 on this. Centering's off, so I'm thinking it's a 9. Either way, definitely worth that $85 I paid. And lastly, in the express submission, we have this Lance's Charizard. This is actually from a pack that was, VS Series. A VS Series pack that was opened, but the cards were never taken out, which was kind of bizarre. So I actually got 3 of these packs. 1 of the fire, and then 2 of the water. Wait, fire and water together. And then 2 of the psychic fighting for 900. And this was in the fire water. So that's how you can tell they probably didn't reseal it. Probably telling the truth there, because nobody's going to leave a Lance's Charizard in mint condition in there. So that is it for the express service. So now I might split these into 2 videos now that I'm thinking about it, because we're already at 9 minutes. So stay tuned for part 2. This has been DB Cards, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed.